Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
Because that would be stupid.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
I approve this message.
I really don't see Apple ever doing that. I am Nadella.
I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing. Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes. I'm here with Landon.
Hey.
And Caleb.
Hello.
And we are here to talk all things tech, you guys, at this very early morning. So, just to let everybody know, and we had mentioned that we were changing time schedules before, but we had to change it sooner than we thought, just because of my workplace. So I apologize. We will now be doing episodes on Saturday mornings, just to kind of make it aware, and then probably later that day, it'll be uploaded for you. So if you didn't get this week's podcast, it's because it wasn't on Monday when we recorded. It's actually now on Saturday. So
yes,
I apologize for that. It's all my fault, to be totally honest. It really is.
It's true.
It really
it's
is.
true. We really need a new Windows guy.
So, yeah, we do. I'll keep being host, and we'll find someone else to do Windows. But no, anyway, so let's go ahead and let's get into this, you guys. Landon, why don't you go ahead and start with all the awesome news you have from Google?
Okay. There's not a ton, but there's enough.
Enough to get us riled up and talk.
Enough to get us to talking, especially on this first topic I want to talk about. So if you've followed tech at all or Google at all for the past 5 years, one thing that you may be annoyed with that they've done is messaging, because there's like 85 different apps and all of them do the same thing.
Yeah.
And none of them work great.
So I have a question for you now that you bring this up. So one that's looking at getting into this ecosystem, what are you talking about? Because I don't know.
Well,
I'd like to know.
They started everything with, inside of Gmail, they had a chat feature, which was basically like MSN Messenger, and it worked fairly well for what it was.
Yep. Wasn't that called G-Chat or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's Gmail Chat and then G-Chat, and that's the other thing, naming.
Okay.
Tech industry, is always good with that. That's where it started. Then they brought in Hangouts, which is still, I think, as much as it's not really used, it's probably still the most popular and most loved chat service that Google has come out with.
Yes.
It was basically had everything that you would want in a chat service. It had like an app on your phone that worked really well. It had a web-based platform. It had an app on your computer that you could download.
Which they got rid of. And
which
I'm
they
still
got
a
rid
little
of.
annoyed of.
Yes.
Oh.
Like, it was what they wanted to do with chat. Why they went away from it, I don't know. But they did. Then now they've got Allo and Duo. Duo is their video calling platform, which is awesome. Not very many people use it, but more people use it than other messaging things Google's done. But
Gotcha.
Allo, speaking of that, nobody uses it. It's basically their version of iMessage. Well, no, it's their version of WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Because it's not tied to your Google account, which is still weird to me.
That is a little strange.
It's tied to your phone number, which is how WhatsApp works.
Yeah.
Right.
But it doesn't have a web client, so you can't do anything online. Like, you can't sync messages online.
Right.
You can't go from your phone to your computer, which is what was awesome about Hangouts.
Yeah.
And what Apple users
is awesome about
love
messages.
about iMessage.
Yeah.
And now they also have the default messaging app on Android is Android Messages. And it works. It's just a basic SMS app. So it's nothing fancy. It's what I use just because
it's the default.
It's the default, and it just works with everything. So I'm going to use it.
Gotcha.
But now they're doing this thing. It's being called Chat. But this only has to do with Google for the fact that they're putting a lot of money into it and pushing this ahead. It's not a Google-based thing. Chat is basically a new name for what RCS is. And RCS is Rich Communication Services. And what that is basically a new version of SMS texting. It's It doesn't use SMS, so it wouldn't go towards like a texting plan that you have. It would go against your data, but very minutely, kind of like how iMessage does for iPhone, and how Facebook Messenger, just little teeny bits. It uses data, but only barely. That's how it works.
Isn't that what WhatsApp was as well? They use data?
Yes, that's like that's how Allo works too. It's all using the internet basically.
Right.
Instead of SMS messaging. And it's a better technology. The reason why carriers haven't moved from SMS to this is because they all have their own version of it that they want people to use. And it's stupid. Verizon, if you buy a Verizon branded Android phone, it's going to come with Verizon messages pre-installed on it, which nobody uses. Gosh. And only works with other people that use Verizon messages. So it's kind of stupid to use. And that's how pretty much all of these carrier-branded messaging services work. But now it's come out that Google has, they have partnered with 55 carriers around the world, including AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile in the U.S.
Yay!
11 OEMs and Microsoft in the realm of Windows.
Don't hear that every day.
To bring this new version of RCS as the standard messaging platform. The only thing right now that they don't have Apple on board because they have iMessage. Why would they want to go with something else? And that makes sense. The downside to this, and I say downside, it's a downside in the sense of some reasons, but not as big of a deal as most people think. But it doesn't have end-to-end encryption like what iMessage or WhatsApp and things like that do, because it's not controlled by a specific company.
Right.
It's just a standard like SMS that's going to work with, that should work with any phone.
I mean, it's basically, it doesn't have end-to-end encryption, just like your text messages don't have end-to-end encryption.
That's why I say it's not as big of a deal as people might make it out to be.
It would be nice to have.
Right.
It would be a great improvement, but it's not like we're losing anything by not having it.
Right.
We don't have it now.
So really, it's just a matter of just don't say anything and people won't worry about it. Just because you said, hey, no open-ended encryption or whatever.
And, I mean, if you follow tech websites, that's what they're going to harp on about it. But
because they have to.
Because they have to. And, like I said, it's really not that big of a deal. Again, it would be nice, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. The benefit to this is it'll give all the features of something like iMessage. It'll give read receipts. It'll give you those 3 little dots saying someone is typing when they're trying to message back. It'll just all these little nice things. Actually, you can send full size videos to someone, full size pictures to someone. It doesn't dumb them down to the lowest common denominator and give you a grainy photo or a grainy video on the other end. You can do really good GIFs, not just stupid little small ones that nobody really cares about.
Gotcha.
Just lots of things like that. It's a really big benefit. And the fact that Google has all of these different partners working on it is a good thing. And they're going to build it into the default Android Messages app, which is the default app on any Android phone except for Samsung phones, because they have their own thing, of course. But they've also partnered with Samsung to make this work on their messaging app.
Cool.
So instead of using SMS, this will be the default. Unless you're texting with an iPhone user, then it'll revert to SMS just the same way an iPhone user reverts to SMS when they text an Android person right now.
Yep.
Unless Apple, for some reason, does get onto this, which they potentially could just for the fact that all 4 major carriers in the U.S. are on board with it.
Yeah.
And because it's a better system than
SMS. The functionality would be built into the Messages app on iPhone. They wouldn't be changing anything in terms of that. And it would probably still be a different colored bubble than iMessages, because they want you to feel superior to people based on the color of your texting bubbles. Apple is weird. There's no denying that.
Yeah. And I honestly think if Steve Jobs were still in charge, it would take longer. With Tim Cook, I don't see it taking more than a year.
Yep.
Once this is pushed forward and announced. officially. Because right now, it's still in the, like, getting everything ready. They're saying it should be out by the end of the year. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
And like I said, it's going to be just a switch is going to be flipped over at Google to throw this into Android messages. So if you have an Android phone and you're using that as your default SMS app, it'll just work. If you're not, then you don't have to worry about it, I guess. Right now, it's not something I don't think that third-party developers can tie into. So if you're using like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp as your default messaging app, those would probably still revert to SMS if you're if you're not messaging between those platforms.
Interesting.
So as of now, I think that's how it's going to work.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But I like where it's going. I've wanted RCS to be the main thing, ever since I heard about it a couple years ago. It's just because of the carriers, it's taken way longer than it should have.
Gotcha.
But finally, Google...
Everyone's on board except Apple, so... Well,
as of now,
who knows?
They haven't said anything.
Doing? We don't know.
Yeah, they haven't said yay or nay. They just haven't said anything.
Made a comment.
So,
no, that's cool.
Well, I think once it's available, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, if within a year they say, okay, it's like I/O next year or I/O Worldwide Developers Conference next year, they could very well just say, hey, by the way, this is now a thing. We've made it work, so it just works.
Yep.
And that would be great. But who knows? We'll see. Time will tell. The next big thing that Google is getting into, finally, we talked about this a little bit before recording, is podcasts.
Yes.
Google, this past week and a half, series of posts from different websites have come out talking about how Google is finally going to take podcasts a little more seriously. I think it was about 4 years ago, Google threw podcasts into their Google Play Music app. And that's basically all they did. They just said, hey, here's another place you can listen to podcasts. It's hidden, and nobody's going to use it because you can't find it.
Yeah.
Unless you look for it. But now, and this is already kind of working on Android phones. If within Google search, if you search for a podcast, it can bring up the podcast link, like for their most recent episode, right within search results.
Oh, that's nice.
So what they're basically doing is they're going to do what they've done for web search and image search and video search for podcasting. And that's amazing. Because that's the biggest thing with podcasting right now is discoverability. Nobody does it really well. Apple, I think, does it the best with Apple Podcasts. It's still not great.
No.
Well, I'll take that back. I think Overcast probably does it the best. And that's an ad-based system. Like, people can pay for their podcast to be put forward. And, like, you can search for certain things and it'll come up. But it's a mess right now. I mean, pretty much everywhere. Yeah. With discovering new podcasts that you potentially will like. And that's why Google taking over this with the algorithms that they have, like, from years and years and years of doing search, is just going to make this so much better. And that, like, the data is already there for podcasts for the most part. If you know what you're doing with unless you're like, you just like record on your laptop mic and throw it into SoundCloud, then you need some. Call me. You need some help. But if you've been doing this a while, or you're doing it a little better in certain ways, then you don't really have to change anything as a podcaster. This is just going to benefit the listener and people trying to find podcasts, even people that don't even know what a podcast is. They're just going to see, oh, here's some audio about the topic I'm looking for. Yeah. Because it'll just pop up, and there's going to be a player right there, and it'll work.
That's cool.
They're also going to have a button there to subscribe, and it'll show them basically how to subscribe to this podcast. It'll show them where they can listen to it. It'll show them certain apps that can play it. And in some cases, if like the podcast has a Patreon supporter page or something like that, it'll have a donate button right within search results as well.
That's cool.
So this is what everyone in the podcasting world has been asking for forever from Apple. or from anybody that does stuff with podcasting.
To be fair, though, nobody does search better than Google.
Right.
That's not really in dispute at all.
Yeah. That's why this is a good thing. It's just taken way too long for Google to get into this. But with the growth and popularity of podcasts in the past 10 years, or even the past 2 or 3 years, for that matter, it makes sense that they're doing it. But like I said, it should have happened 4 or 5 years ago. But I think it's going to be really good in the long run for podcasters like us, and for you, the listener, to try and find new podcasts that you're interested in, because it'll just be something that you're just searching for in general. Like, say you search for Star Wars, just whatever, you type in Star Wars, it could bring up like 5 or 6 different podcasts that are just about Star Wars. Or if you even type something super niche, like,
Windows Phone.
Sorry. That's a good one.
Saying.
You might find the 2 podcasts that talk about Windows Phone.
That have been dead since 2014.
Hey, now, we still occasionally talk about Windows Phone to make fun of it.
That's true. Yes.
Am I sleeping when we... No, just kidding.
But, I mean, it's just things that you're already searching for could pop up with the podcast. And the nice thing about that is people that wouldn't think, I'm going to go try and find a podcast about this, are going to discover podcasts. And so
that's cool.
It's really exciting, and it's just going to be really, really awesome for both us as podcasters and for the listeners. So there you go. Google's doing good things.
Good things.
Sweet. All around. Next thing. New features in Gmail.
Oh, yes.
Finally. Something that hasn't happened in probably 5 or 10 years since Gmail came about. Literally.
Wow.
This is mostly in the web client. There are some things on the app that Google has done, but it's mostly if you're on your computer, because just the way the interface is going to work, it's going to be better. But they've gotten more. I'll just go through some of these features. They've integrated a little better with Calendar, Tasks, and Google Keep. They've already kind of had that integration where if you get an email that has an appointment or something with it, it will or can automatically throw that event into your calendar, which is nice. Mm-hmm. And same thing with to-do lists and stuff like that. But this is just especially on the web interface, you can click a little thing to bring up your calendar, and it'll you can click on a day, it'll show all the emails that you have that potentially have something to do with that day, which is kind of cool. It's got some quick actions that, again, should have been there. It's got snooze and view attachments, so you can scroll over and quickly view whatever attachment's there, or you can snooze an email. So this has been in their inbox app, which they have 2 email apps. Look at them. And that's what I use because of some of these certain features. But now that all these are built into Gmail, I might just switch back. But snooze, basically you can do just that. You can snooze an email until a certain time, then it'll alert you at that time. So say there's an email that you kind of don't want to forget that it's there, but you don't have time at the moment to do anything about it. You just hit snooze and come back to it when you do have the time to do something about it. I do that fairly often, and it's a really handy feature. Smart replies. It's kind of already been there, but just getting smarter. So basically, kind of like when you're texting on your phone and the keyboard comes up with certain words that may or may not fit with what you're typing, which sometimes do and most often don't.
Yes.
It's always fun. They'll give you sometimes sentences or phrases to say back, sounds great, and then, or something, certain little things, or I'll get back to you later, just little things like that. And they're already there, but they're going to get better. This one I really like. They're going to get bolder warnings. So bigger, bright, not brighter, but bigger, more red. So if you get a phishing email that's a scam of some sort trying to get something out of you, if there's any hint that it might be that, it's going to let you know.
Yeah.
And it's going to be quite large and there.
Good.
And that's a really good thing because some people need that. I mean, it's pretty obvious what is a scam email and what's trying to get our information. But to some people, it's not quite as obvious.
Yeah.
And they could easily fall for some of those things.
Yep.
And these scam emails are getting better every day.
Yeah, they really are.
So having something like this that's just going to be like, this may be a bad thing. You can still click into it, and you can still do whatever damage you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop you from that, but it's going to tell you, you might not want to do that.
Yeah.
Gives you a little warning.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
That's an awfully, awfully good thing. Another big thing that I find kind of interesting is confidential mode. And what this is basically like a self-destruct mode for an email. You can put a timer on an email now that when you send it, so say I want to send a message to Caleb that I don't want anybody else to see, I can make it so he can't forward it on, and it'll also be gone like 10 minutes after he opens it.
Huh.
Even from my side, it'll be gone.
Cool. Interesting.
It's really interesting. And I mean, you can set the time frame, so it can be like a year if you want it to be. Mm-hmm. If it's like time-sensitive information or something like that, you know?
You know who that would be really, really great for? Businesses.
That's what it's probably more geared for, but it's available to anybody.
Yeah, because being able to say, like, I want every email that we send to expire after a year means that, like, they're still there, that you can reference them, but then after that time period is up, they're not there to be referenced in a court of law if you ever get sued or anything like that. And that's like, you know, a lot of companies already have policy in place that talk about make sure you are deleting emails, like never send anything that could be used against you in a court of law, and always delete emails that are older than a year because you just don't want those to be available to be used against you. And
right.
Yeah. So like that, and that's something you can handle from an internal mail server, but anything that goes outside of the company, you can't control that, except now you can.
Yep.
If you're using Google's services. Which
Interesting.
I'm going to recommend my company switch to those now, actually.
I mean, and the Google services for work are actually really good anyways. So, I mean, throwing this in there, it makes it, you know, that much better. I mean, you can do some, like you said, internal email clients have already had something like this, and stuff for businesses, especially like Outlook, can kind of do this.
Yeah,
to an extent,
but only like internally,
it's in a mass way. So like you can set it up to be like all accounts after 6 months. Once that email hits 6 months, it's gone. This is specifically to this email.
Yep.
Not just all messages in general.
Yeah.
It's this particular message will be gone in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 7 years, whatever. It'll be gone, and you can't find it. And that's really cool.
That is.
So that's some of the features that are now in Gmail for all users. If you want to look up more, then I think those are the big ones that most people are going to care about. Other ones are just there. I don't know. They might get used in some ways, but okay. Moving on from Google, LG is kind of still in the phone business. They're going to have a new phone. So we reported a while ago that the G7 was basically dead.
Yeah.
But that's not entirely true, I guess. This is weird. So there's going to be a new phone. It's called the LG G7 ThinQ, which thank you, LG, for making that more fun.
Couldn't keep it easy. Just G7. Like, it's simple. Just G7.
Yeah.
The seventh. Anyways.
Yeah, whatever. But it's supposed to be coming out on May 2nd is when it's going to be announced, so next week. So we'll find out all the details for sure next week. But from the leaked images that are there, it's going to have a dedicated hardware button for Google Assistant.
Hey.
Initially, people thought that this was going to be another Bixby type thing where it's LG's own assistant that's going to be garbage and nobody's going to want to use. Instead, it's going to be Google's assistant that still nobody's going to really want to use. Well, nobody's going to want to have a dedicated hardware button for. But it's going to be there. And unfortunately, from what it sounds like, you can't remap this button like Samsung. So you can either turn it off and have a useless button, or have it on and have a mostly useless button that you're going to accidentally push and be like, son of a...
Yeah.
Dang it, Google.
Like, I don't know what it is with phone makers. I'm thinking, yeah, let's put a button to summon the assistant. It's all like, guys,
there's already a button.
Voice activation works really well.
Yeah, you can just talk to your phone.
What? You just say a keyword, and it pops up, and it's easier than a button, and it's also harder to accidentally activate than a button most of the time.
Unless you're on a podcast talking about tech.
Unless you're on a podcast talking about tech, where you tend to have some serious issues.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only reason why you would ever want another button like this, I kind of get the reason putting it there for these hardware makers, especially Samsung, because they want people to use their own version. But like if they would allow you to remap the button to do whatever you want, then that I would be more okay with it.
Yeah,
I'd still think it's stupid because we don't need more buttons on phones. If you look at what Apple is doing, they're putting less buttons on phones, and pretty much everyone else putting less buttons on phones. Less hardware means less malfunctioning things.
Yep.
You know. So, I don't know what LG is thinking entirely, but...
Who does?
Maybe they're not thinking. That's the problem.
Does anybody ever know what LG is thinking?
No, I don't think they do at all. Actually, I know they don't know what they're thinking, but they're doing stuff anyways. Whatever. Next, Amazon has... Well, we'll get this out of the way first. They're bumping their prices up for new users now. It's going to be a $119 a year for Amazon Prime, and that is also going to take into effect for renewal customers beginning in June.
Yep.
So if you've renewed any time before now, you're going to be fine. If you haven't got Amazon Prime yet, well, you're going to be paying more now.
Yep.
So that kind of sucks, but I mean... It does, but it doesn't, because if you think about what you get with Amazon Prime, it's really been a great deal. Even still, at $119 a year, it's still a really good deal.
It's been underpriced this whole time, and I think that like price hikes like this is Amazon basically acknowledging, look, our investors are really angry at us for like never making profits, for basically just giving away stuff, because you look at all their hardware, it's underpriced. Mm-hmm. You look at their services, they're underpriced. Like... They have no profit margins.
Not in that stuff, but the reason they do it is because they want you to buy stuff on Amazon.
Yep. The sellers' fees and stuff is the only place where they actually make profit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that their investors are annoyed with that.
Yeah, I get it. But so, yeah, that price is now fully in effect for people that have not yet subscribed to Amazon Prime. And for those that have, after June 1st, that will be the price. Next thing Amazon is doing is they've put up a page about something called Amazon Fire TV Cube. It's not announced yet. It's just a thing that you can sign up for email alerts, basically, for when it gets announced. Not that if you're interested in that, you're going to know when it's announced anyways, because it's going to be all over Amazon once it's announced.
And other tech podcasts and ours.
Yes.
So it's just going to be everywhere.
All the news sites.
It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
But like I said, they don't have any information more than that, but from what has been leaked, and even somebody sent some images to, I can't remember what site, some tech, I think it was Engadget got these images. Somebody ordered an Amazon branded HDMI converter to go with the Fire TV stick and stuff like that. And this was within the past week, I think he ordered it and got it. But in the instructions of how to use it, even for people that don't know how to just use that, it shows it going into something called an Amazon Fire TV Cube. And basically what it looks like it is going to be a set-top box, similar to Apple TV, that has Echo functionality.
Is it a cube?
It looked square, yes.
Okay, that's good. Just wanted to make sure, because...
I would hope so. No, it's going to be a ball.
How funny would that be? It's a circle.
It's a triangle.
It's not even their Pringles can thing. It's just a ball. No. No, it did look like it was a square outline. It didn't.
Right.
It was just like that whole grayscale type user. The user manuals that don't ever give any detail.
I'm gonna as soon as it comes out, I'm looking up the measurements, and if it's not an exact cube, I'm gonna be really upset.
As you should be. As you should be. So that's kind of interesting. So right now, if you were to get any other Amazon Fire TV products, the remote has the Alexa, stuff built into it, so you can do voice search through that. But this is going to have it without a remote, so you can just talk to it like you would your Echo or Echo Dot, to do the same thing. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't necessarily see a really big reason to do something like that. I get having a set-top box rather than just their HDMI dongle they've had for years.
Yeah,
but
I think it's the kind of thing where, if you have an existing Fire TV with the remote that has the button that you can use to control all your shows and stuff like that, probably not really going to be enough reason to upgrade to this.
No.
Just to ditch the remote, especially when you consider the fact that sometimes you don't want to try telling vocally your TV to do something, because as much as we want to say our assistants are amazing these days, they kind of all have massive blind spots. Mm-hmm. And so there are things it can't do. And so occasionally you just want to use a remote.
Yeah. So I'm sure this is still going to have a remote.
It's still going to have a remote. The difference is that instead of pushing a button to talk to it, you will just yell at it, I guess.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the remote still had the voice assistant built into that too. Just because people are going to be used to that. The other the nice thing of having it, I guess, built into the set-top box is if you don't have the remote close by to you and you don't want to get up or whatever, you can just yell at your TV and it'll work.
Well, if you're listening to music through your TV or something like that, and you're up and about doing things and you don't have the remote handy, that makes some sense. And that is actually the one place where, with my Apple TV, I have occasionally been it would be really nice if I could just yell at the TV and it would listen to me. But whatever.
Yeah. So that should be coming. We don't have a date on that yet, but I would be surprised if it didn't come out within the next couple of months, especially where there's already a page on Amazon dedicated for this. It'll be announced soon. So that's all of the news that I have for this week.
Awesome. That is good news. Well, let's go ahead and let's move on. I got a couple things for Microsoft. Not too much, just a couple mentions. So, as we've talked before, that there is an update that's supposed to be coming still in April. April's almost over. And guess what? It is the last few days of April when it was officially announced that when it'll officially come out, which is Monday, and technically 2 days from now.
Yes.
Which is the last day of April.
This was their last chance to get it out.
I think they've got 29th, so there's 2 other days. But it's there, and they promised April, and they're going to deliver April.
Well, that's good.
So just be prepared for that. It may be coming. Just prepare for it, because I know Monday's probably not the best day.
No, right at the beginning of the week.
Yeah. But please be prepared for that.
That is very Microsoft.
Kind of is, yeah.
Hey, welcome back to work. You've got an update that's going to take 2 hours, and you have to do it.
You have to make this. Well, you don't have to.
That's true.
If
it was
nice.
Windows 8, you have to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
But Windows 10, you don't have to, but you're going to have to eventually.
So basically, just to refresh, the big things for this update is obviously the timeline thing. It's just to where you can have all your devices have the timeline. So whether you're visiting web pages, documents, everything, it's just to sync with all your devices. Obviously, that also includes Cortana. So if you use Cortana on your mobile device, your tablets, or wherever, it's all supposed to be synced that way. That's the best way to use their timeline feature. Also, with that, it's let's see, what else do they call it? Basically, in Microsoft Edge is getting a bunch of updates also for voice dictation, things like that, and Edge extensions. That's what it's called, sorry. So, more extensions coming that way. So, cool. So, moving on there, we already did talk about the Amazon price hike that on there, so we'll move on from there. I did want to also mention, this is kind of interesting, it says Spotify is pushing its freemium advantage. So I thought this was kind of cool. The new version of the Spotify app will offer 3 big changes for those in services free tier. The number 1 is recommended music. Previously limited to a shuffle mode, those with a free subscription will now receive music recommendations on the fly and will gain access to 15 music discovery playlists. These recommendations are based on the music you play or add to your playlist. Second is on-demand music. Likewise, those in the free tier can now listen to any music they want at any time for as many times. The only limitation now is that the music must appear in those music discovery playlists. It amounts to about 750 tracks or over 40 hours of music. And then also low data mode. A new data saver feature will cut data by up to 75%. So,
yeah.
And now this is for basically the free users on the app, on the phone app, because you can do on-demand music on the desktop software for free.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was one reason why I never used the Spotify app when I used Spotify, because I couldn't get on. It was just basically Pandora, and I was like, I can get Pandora.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, the one nice thing about Spotify is I could curate my own playlist on the desktop, and then it would be there for me on my phone, and so I could do that. But generally what I use Spotify for on my computer was listening to things that I wanted to listen to, like specific albums or things. So if I wanted it on my phone, I would just end up making a playlist of that album, and it would work. And that's a way to get around it. But I like that just for people, which is probably most, that don't use the desktop version of Spotify, that have the free version on their phone, it is making it a lot better, and that's cool.
Yeah.
So
a lot of these improvements are also stuff that are like primary reasons that people have subscribed to Apple Music at various points.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like, with these changes, I don't know that Spotify is really going to be stealing anyone away from Apple Music. I think there are still advantages to the Apple Music subscription, and just the fact that people have a library of Apple Music built up at this point is probably enough reason for them to stay. But it's going to be harder for Apple Music to steal people away from Spotify, from the Spotify free tier at least, with these changes. So it'll be interesting to see if Apple responds back with any improvements to Apple Music, which, there are improvements that could be made to Apple Music.
Yeah.
So be interesting to see.
Yeah. So I did want to mention that. Also talking about another type of music service that I hear is not the greatest. iTunes finally arrives on the Microsoft Store.
Oh, jeez.
This long, has it been actually 2 years since they announced this?
Maybe it has been.
Like a year and a half at least.
Yeah, because sure. I know they announced it. Well, it's been at least a year because they announced it at Build.
2 years ago.
At one thing of Build, it might have been 2 years ago. That when
Build is next week, actually.
It was when they announced the Microsoft Store. Well, no, it's when they announced. What did they? They announced something with the Microsoft Store.
Yeah,
it was the
it was S mode.
Yeah,
Windows 10s. Yeah, that's right. It was when they announced Windows 10s, and they were they wanted to showcase. Oh, by the way, you can use iTunes on it, but you couldn't because it wasn't there. But now it finally is. It
2 years
took
almost
a long
to the
time.
day,
and now that 10s is kind of no longer a thing. It is still there in some ways, but yeah,
that's hilarious.
It just took Apple a strangely long time to do this.
We've talked about this before, but I'm pretty sure that the development team for iTunes on Windows especially is like one guy who's just severely overworked.
Yeah. Or overpaid or underpaid.
And he's probably doing mostly customer service.
Probably.
Especially with this now. No, but you can now get that, and it's pretty funny because on my Windows phone currently, when you use the Microsoft ecosystem and they have their tiles, it kind of does their tile flash and everything. Well, apparently the big thing right now is iTunes on the Windows Store, so it's just funny to... It is funny because I see it and I'm like, oh, that's there.
Well, here's a question for you. Okay.
Just say
question. So, if you were to search, say, I don't think this would happen on Google, but if you were to search like on Bing or something like that for a specific app that has like a web-based downloading system and a Windows Store app, does it bring up the Windows Store app as an option to download within search?
Most times.
So, okay.
If there is an app.
And that's probably if you're using Bing or if you're using like the search, like if you're using Cortana at the bottom or something like that, then you could find it. But the problem is most people don't use Bing. So they're going to search for iTunes. It's just going to bring up the regular web-based iTunes, which is, again, it's not like there's going to be that big of a difference between the two because they're both going to be garbage because it's iTunes. And the downside is the Windows Store version is probably, well, I don't know. I would assume it has a slightly better update process.
Yes, because it's got to use Microsoft's update procedures and everything like that in order to be in the store. Like they have to update through the store. Yeah. So if nothing else, I would say go download iTunes from the Microsoft Store so that you're not using Apple's updater,
which is oh my god,
which is from bad. I don't know 2002
when iTunes
or
was
announced.
Like
well, and not only that, I think it probably is a better experience because it's not using so much because it wasn't the main reason iTunes, not only the updater, it was just it would use so much of your computer.
It uses quite a few resources. Yeah. I'm not sure that the app itself is going to be significantly different in terms of the resources it uses, but if you can get rid of the Apple updater, that's going to be a significant chunk of resources freed up.
Gotcha.
And it'll be more reliable, it'll be more stable. So that's good enough reason for me, I would say.
Okay.
And it's the thing that's going to be really annoying to switch, and it's funny because like the Windows or the Microsoft Store version of iTunes is going to be easier to uninstall. So I mean, we tell you to go and switch for certain reasons, but it's not going to be easy to go and install the main version of iTunes.
True. Well, and then you have to swap the library over. Like,
well, you can still uninstall iTunes and keep your iTunes library on your computer.
You can, but getting the new installation of iTunes to detect the library instead of just creating its own.
Another version why iTunes is garbage.
Wow. Seriously, iTunes just needs help.
I never used iTunes, and this sounds terrible.
It does, doesn't
it? Really terrible.
I might actually install iTunes on my Windows PC now, though.
Just to try it?
Yeah, well, just because I won't have to deal with Apple's updater.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to uninstall iTunes on my computer and reinstall the regular one.
Yep. Well, I'm glad you guys use it. You can definitely report back and see if it is any different.
Yeah,
because
the only reason we use iTunes, my wife uses it for her music. If she gets a CD or something, she puts it onto there so she can get it onto her phone easier. But the main reason we use it is for her phone because like the backup thing that you can do with iTunes is so nice to have.
Yes.
Because you can back up the entire phone
and
encrypt it. And then when you get a new one, it just goes on and it's exactly like everything is set up for you already pretty much.
You're already signed into all of your apps and everything. Like the works. Super convenient.
Yeah. So that's the main reason why you would still use that's why we use iTunes still.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Makes sense.
All right. So moving on. Let's see. Oh no, I already talked about that. But hey, I had one more, and I was like, nope, just said it anyway. So Caleb, why don't you move us along here?
All right. Okay. So Apple registered a whole bunch of new iPhone model numbers in Russia. Just recently, 2 weeks ago. So the same thing happened right before their education event last month with the iPad. And we got new iPads. The same thing happened last year with MacBooks, right before WWDC, and then we got new MacBooks. So this does kind of seem to indicate that we are going to be getting new phones at WWDC, which is coming up in like a month.
Hey. Also known as the new SE that's also been leaked.
Yes. Yes.
Which actually, I'm assuming you're going to talk about this.
Of course I am.
Actually, some people are ragging on the design because the leaks have a glass back.
I think that leak is false. I think that leak is totally
You don't think it's going to have a glass back?
I don't. I think that particular leak is messed up. But
I would love it if it did. Well, mostly for the fact that means it'll probably have wireless charging.
Right. If it has a glass back, it'll be to support wireless
And personally, I think it looks better. I still love the design of the iPhone 5. The SE, that body is probably my favorite iPhone design.
Yeah.
But you throw a full glass back on that thing, man, that's even better.
Yeah.
Even though it's way more like shatterproof, it's gonna it's gonna break. If you drop it, it's gonna break.
Yeah.
But man, it's I love it.
Yeah. So the rumors are actually, like, rumors have repeatedly stated that we are going to be seeing a new SE in May, not in June, which is when WWDC is.
Interesting.
I still suspect June. I'm thinking a WWDC launch for a new iPhone. It probably depends on how much they're planning to do with Macs at WWDC.
Right.
If they do quite a lot with the Mac lineup, then maybe they do it in May earlier so that they've got more time for Macs. If they don't do much with Macs, then they'll probably save the phone
because
WWDC.
an SE announcement could be a press release.
Yes.
If it's nothing, like if it doesn't have the fully new design,
right?
Bumped specs in the internals,
Yep.
It doesn't need a press release.
That's true, and that's kind of
it just needs a press release.
It would just get a press release update on the store, but so the rumors right now, and this is where there's some conflicting rumors. So pretty much all the rumors say A10 Fusion processor, which is like great. That's in my iPhone 7. It's fantastic, super nice processor. Some rumors are saying a headphone jack or no headphone jack, like getting rid of the headphone jack and possibly having some improvements to water resistance as a result of that effort.
Right.
Other rumors, this video that was leaked, are saying glass back and wireless charging and still a headphone jack. And so there's some disagreement, like just at a fundamental level between some of these. I'm kind of more on the no glass back, no wireless charging, and that whole side of things, based on the statement that has come multiple times from KGI Securities' Ming-Chi Kuo, who has said that he doesn't think Apple has the bandwidth to produce 4 phones this year, and he's expecting 3 phones to get launched in September. So, that's what he's saying. He's saying that if they are going to update the SE, the supply chain hasn't really shown any indication of it, and that leads me to believe that if they do it, it will just be a basic spec bump on the internals.
Yeah.
Because the supply chain doesn't have to change to add more RAM, to upgrade the processor, to do that stuff, because the A10, they're making that right now. Already, they're putting it into iPhones, and they're putting it into new iPads. And obviously they could increase the RAM, they could bump the storage, they could do stuff like that, but none of those things, like just spec bumps, don't actually change anything in the supply chain.
Which would actually almost make it easier for them because they don't have to make as many of the lesser processor.
Right, exactly. And that would explain why KGI Securities haven't noticed any changes in the supply chain.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm sitting on the whole thing, but more and more, it does seem likely that we are going to be seeing a refreshed iPhone SE, and just the fact that we're getting these new registrations for model numbers in Russia that we haven't seen before does seem to indicate that there's a pretty good possibility of that happening sometime in the next month here.
And it's a very good thing because, like I've mentioned multiple times on this podcast, my in-laws need new phones because they have a 4 and a 5.
Yeah.
4S and a 5.
Yeah.
And I've been pushing them to get an SE for a while, but I've kind of held back the last little while because of these rumors. And now that it's even stronger and that it's going to be within a month or two,
yep,
I'm like, okay, you can wait.
Yep, wait a month, for sure. Okay, speaking of KGI Securities,
those guys.
They've released another supply chain report. So they are now suggesting that they expect the LCD version of the iPhones that we're getting in September. So they're just an update for anyone who has forgotten. They're expecting a successor to the iPhone X that'll look exactly the same, basically. A larger version of that phone called an X Plus because we're really good at names. And then another version that doesn't have a name that is going to be a slightly larger phone, possibly slightly larger screen than the iPhone X, but smaller than the other one, and would be an LCD display instead of an OLED display. So that's kind of what they're expecting. And they're now saying that they think the LCD version of the iPhone, the cheaper one, because it doesn't have an OLED display, they're expecting that one to be the cheapest, is going to be coming in 2 variants, one with 2 SIM slots, which would be great for international markets and for people who travel a lot, and one with 1 SIM slot. And what they're saying is that the one with 2 SIM slots is going to start at the base price for a new iPhone that we've kind of come to expect, about $650. and that the one with one SIM slot is going to start at $550, which is the cheapest for a brand new iPhone that we have seen since the first iPhone, which was $500.
Huh.
So that would actually be like, I mean, this thing would have pretty much all the same features as the nicer phones. It would have Face ID. It would have the edge-to-edge bezel-less display. It would have, like, you know, basically everything. The dual cameras on the back, everything that you would expect, except an OLED display. That's the thing it would be missing, right? And I'm sitting there like, I mean, I would appreciate having an OLED display. You know, just the deeper blacks would be really nice. Brighter, more vibrant colors would be really nice. But if it's going to save me $300, yeah, I'm okay living with an LCD display. Like, that's cool with me.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of what they're suggesting there. They are also saying that they don't think that the LCD display iPhone will have Force Touch. They're expecting it to not have Force Touch, which is
weird.
Really interesting to me. The reason that they're expecting that is because in order to enable the bezel-less display on an LCD screen, see, with an OLED screen, it's pretty easy to get bezel-less display. You just fold the end of the screen that has a display controller on it underneath the bottom of the screen because those screens bend.
Yeah.
Like, that's really easy to do. LCD
you can't really
screens,
do that with an LCD.
You can't do that. You have to put a display controller on that thing. And so what they're doing is they're putting, like, I don't know, they're like dual layering the thing that's going to make the display thicker. And so in order to save on weight, save on price, and save on thickness, they're going to be eliminating the Force Touch layer in the display sandwich. Well, probably would
not as robust of a tactic engine.
Right. They wouldn't need one because most of the places where you use the Taptic engine are for Force Touch feedback. Wow, that was a lot of F words right there.
Now, they could just do the Force Touch features just with a longer press.
Yes, which is what they do on the older phones that don't have Force Touch, and it works okay. Yeah. But at the same time, that you can't do the peek and pop like stuff for apps,
right?
Because obviously, long pressing on an app just means, oh, I want to delete this or move it.
Right.
So you know, there's going to be some limitations. There are a few things that I use Force Touch for that I would hate to lose.
Right.
Like, I would hate to lose that. So if it does turn out that they actually are getting rid of Force Touch, that's maybe a little bit more reason to look into getting the cheaper smaller OLED phone, depending on what the price point for that is, though, because they're still expecting that one. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be $1,000 anymore, but they are expecting it to still be around $800 for that one. And then the big one would still be around $1,000, and then the 2 SIM model would be $650 to $700 in there, and then this cheap one as low as $550. That's pretty cool. Like, I don't know that you guys understand how cool that is, because like normally if you want to buy an iPhone for $550 brand new, you're buying last year's iPhone.
Yeah.
And this would basically mean that you would be able to get an iPhone 8 for less than $500. Potentially. Which would mean that the only way, like, they could stop making the 7s and 7 Plus, and they could have the SE, the 8, and then their new lineup of phones, and they would have the entire price point. They would have a price point basically every $100 from $350 up to $1,000, which is like, that's mind-boggling for Apple to have that many price options, especially on their phones. We've never seen anything like that before. So, interesting to see where that goes. Okay, last piece of Apple news. This was something that CNET reported on, based on a conversation that they had with one of their sources inside of Apple, who says that Apple currently has an AR/VR headset under development at like their secret AR research lab or whatever. That they gave some specs for the thing. They said that it's going to feature an 8K display for each eye. So that is an enormous amount of pixels for each of your eyes. The only way you can do that is with micro LED technology, to be fair. And that is something that is currently still under development. There are no consumer devices that use micro LEDs at all, anywhere right now. We're still developing the technology. We haven't been able to scale it up to large scale manufacturing. So,
especially Apple's scale.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so basically, if we're saying an 8K display in front of each eye, that means we're saying at least 5 years before we see this thing. But that's the rumor.
Cost a lot of
money.
Oh, man.
I would actually expect 8K displays that size to show up on the watch first, before they show up in an AR headset.
Yes.
But yeah,
because that's so needed on a watch.
Yeah, the pixels on them aren't small enough as is.
They need to not focus on necessarily on a display on a watch, and everyone needs to focus more on the UI of a watch.
Yeah, that's something that
everyone,
kind of sucks.
That's the main reason I still have an OG Moto 360 from 3.5 years ago, because there's not a watch out there that really has anything that much better of user interface.
Yep.
And like mine doesn't have the newest version of Wear OS, which is a slightly tweaked version. Like the UI is a little different. And I'm okay with that. The UI on my watch is great.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You look at the Apple Watch and what has improved. The speed has improved.
Which is good. It needs that.
Waterproofing has improved, and some of the more niche activity tracking has improved. And that's it.
Hardware.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Speed has gotten better, and yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. But I would say that's probably where we would see that kind of a display first.
Yeah, I agree.
But they are also said that the thing would not be, you wouldn't slot a phone into it, and you wouldn't tether it to a computer. It's a standalone headset, kind of. What it would be doing, and what they're saying it currently does now, is it uses an experimental version of Wi-Fi to connect to a little black box that sits off to the side of your room at like, I don't know, 6 gigabytes a second or something stupid fast. And they're saying that basically this is the version of Wi-Fi that they expect to turn into the next mainstream version of Wi-Fi, which is 802.11ay. Currently we're on AC is the one that's popular now, but we're looking at D something, I don't know, but anyways, yeah. They're expecting it to be a mainstream version of Wi-Fi at some point in the future, but again, we're years away from that. The base station box and the headset would include all of the sensors and everything that you need in order to do a full VR experience. So you basically take this box, you set it off to the side of your room and plug it in, power it up, hook the headset up to it, and there you go, VR, ready to go, you're done. Which, would be cool. Considering right now, if you want a full room VR headset or setup, you have to have 4 cameras at each corner of the room, and you have to have a big old tether hooked onto the back of your headset, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So massive improvements in that way. They're also suggesting that this black box that the thing is connected into now is using an Apple custom designed processor to handle everything, which makes sense. That was developed on a 5 nanometer process, and will be built on a 5 nanometer process, and is very similar to, in terms of power and capability, to what you can expect from consumer line chips from Intel and AMD. Meaning that this is possibly the chip that we could see replacing Intel processors in Macs within the next 5 years.
Could see? Will see.
Will probably see. Yes. We'll see.
This will be the doom of Intel.
Yeah, very possibly. What totally blows my mind is the statement that this thing is on a 5 nanometer process.
Yeah.
Nobody is making anything on a 5 nanometer process right now. The smallest we've got currently, I think, is an 8 nanometer process for a lot of smartphone chips. And actual desktop caliber chips that have that much power, AMD is pushing those down into the 10 nanometer process with their Zen 2 chips for the Ryzen line. And Intel can't do that. Intel just reported this last week that they're delaying their 10 nanometer manufacturing process for at least another year. Meaning that for a year, AMD is going to have superior manufacturing technology going out to consumers over what Intel can offer. That means better power efficiency, smaller chips, less heat for the same speed and performance. Which is a situation that AMD has not been on in their processor line since 1999. And the release of the original Athlon 64 and Athlon 64 X2. This is game-changing crap.
Wow.
And that's about the 10 nanometer process. For Apple to come out and say, yeah, we've got desktop caliber chips that we're experimenting with that are on a 5 nanometer process. So that's even more efficiency. That's even less heat for the same speed, which means you can pack more cores onto it. It's just
now,
holy crap.
I do want to say something about this. This is just my thoughts. I'm sure that a lot of these companies have that. And the reason why Apple can get away with it is because they've probably got maybe 2 or 3 of these things that they're testing.
True.
And they've only made 2 or 3 of these chips. Whereas like AMD and Intel, they are like Intel's delaying this because they can't mass produce it yet.
Right.
And I get it. And that, so I'm sure Intel and AMD have 2 or 3 5-nanometer chips.
Yeah, they probably
flying around.
They probably do.
But they just haven't said anything about it because once they say something about it, people are going to want it.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
And they're going to want it yesterday.
True. And to be fair, pretty much any silicon manufacturer has been playing around with smaller and smaller nanometer processes for a long time. For years they've been trying to push that down more and more. And so the people, it probably was one of the Japanese silicon companies, or TSMC. Who built these chips for Apple, which means that they're testing their 5-nanometer manufacturing process, and these companies have been making chips for Apple for years, and Apple has pretty much exclusively been designing chips for smartphones, which means smaller, which means the emphasis was always on power efficiency and size over actual raw power, which means they're probably ahead of AMD and Intel as far as that game is concerned.
Yeah, and they're always going to be because of that.
Right. It's just like, we're definitely coming to a head here where Intel and AMD are going to have to be able to push down into these smaller manufacturing processes in order to compete with companies that started at smaller manufacturing processes and are now pushing those manufacturing processes up to produce the same power as the chips that are on larger manufacturing processes. Yeah. And it sounds like right now, at least from a consumer perspective, AMD is ahead of the game.
Right.
Ahead of Intel. Like, that was my next piece of news, so I guess I may as well just
segue.
Like, Intel has announced that their 10-nanometer process for the next version of their processors has been delayed for at least a year. They have not told us. Like, it was expected to launch, like they were going to be printing chips on that thing this year. Second half of this year, they were supposed to be launching these to the public. They apparently are having yield rate issues where half of the chips, like fully 50% of the chips that they produce on this process, are trash. They can't use them at all. And the other half are like super unreliable. So like they haven't got it. They can't do it. Whereas AMD is already shipping them. They're already shipping 10-nanometer chips in the Zen 2 platform under the Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 7 monikers. So if you get a Zen 2 Ryzen 5 or something like that, it's technically it's a better just piece of hardware than what Intel can give you. Now, whether or not the performance is going to be better, that's kind of, that's a little more up in the air. But It's just really crazy. This is the first time that this has happened in over a decade, like almost 20 years, honestly, that AMD's processor line has been so competitive with Intel's. And it's fantastic, and I'm super excited about it because so far all this has meant is that, like, basically AMD turned around last year and said, look, Ryzen, it's fantastic. Look at all of the cores. Everything is unlockable or overclockable, and you get, like, multi-threading on everything. And Intel turned around and was like, well, crap. And they started releasing 6-core i7s and, like, better multi-threading on stuff, and 4-core i3s and so on and so forth, because you can't get an AMD processor that has less than 4 physical cores. So they finally started releasing quad-core i3s and stuff like that. So just fantastic competition in that space that has resulted in better processors and better prices for everybody. If only the graphics card market could do the same.
Oh, man. I doubt that.
Probably not going to happen for a while. Anyways, that is all of the tech news that I had.
That is...
I have some crazy Apple news. Like I didn't mention it because I thought you would.
Oh,
but I've got something.
What did I miss?
So we mentioned I brought up a while ago that Lenovo and Star Wars teamed up to make a AR headset where you could fight with a lightsaber and all sorts of cool crap. Yeah. It also has the Holo Chess that's in Episode 4.
Nice.
Star Wars. But now Disney has ported that version to the iPhone. Yay. Anything that uses AR kit, so iOS 11 and above,
Nice.
can
awesome.
can play this game.
Huh.
I find it odd that it's only on iOS right now because, I mean, there's Android phones that have AR Core, which is just as good as ARKit.
It's basically the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So I'm sure it's going to come within a week or two, but right now it's on iOS only. And so, like, what you do is you just tell it what surface you want to play this game on, and you can start playing holochess against an AI computer.
Nice.
Which is awesome.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
So, there you go. There's the last little bit of Apple news.
Nice.
And
that's a nice
gaming.
segue into gaming there. It's a little...
I like it.
Yeah.
Good work.
So, if you have an iOS device that has ARKit capabilities, go try out this app, because I'm jealous that I can't. Actually, that's not true. My wife's phone could do that, so I might have to download it. Hey, honey, can I borrow your phone? I gotta play some chess.
Do this, please?
I gotta play Star Wars chess.
I am downloading it right now.
All right.
Nice. Well, let's definitely get into some gaming, and while you're downloading, I'll go ahead and talk about my gaming stuff, I guess, and then move forward. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Not only is there a Windows update around this time, there's always an Xbox update as well. So Xbox has rolled out, actually earlier than Windows did, their update. Their April update. Basically, their video and display improvements. With this, Xbox One owners can now enjoy auto low latency mode on supported displays, variable refresh rate outputs to AMD Radeon FreeSync and FreeSync 2 capable displays, and on Xbox One S and X, support for 1440p. So that's finally out there for everybody that's using, I believe it's just basically monitors that do the 1440. I don't think there's an actual like television that does
Yeah, I've never seen one.
So that's capable there. More options for your AMD Radeon, like I said, for the FreeSync and all that to make it look better. Game streaming and capture improvements. A new Mixer interactive feature called Share Controller helps gamer broadcasters share control of their game streams with others. You can now start Mixer broadcasts from anywhere on Xbox One, and you can now share captured screenshots and clips directly to Twitter.
Nice.
Cool. I actually saw this controller thing in action a little bit. I was watching someone do it. And so basically on the Xbox, when you are streaming and say you go to your main menu, Mixer will actually put on a screensaver, if you will. Just a random screensaver that people are seeing so they can't see your main screen or anything.
Right.
So if someone were wanting to take over your controller and then be like, oh, I'm going to try and, like this, I guess this happened to a PlayStation person, was to try and delete their profile or try and delete stuff.
Ouch.
It actually doesn't let it, just like, no, this you got access to this game. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was wondering how they do that because I heard that that's what happened to somebody. They gave control to their profile on, I think it was Destiny or something, and the guy just started deleting his characters.
Oh, what a...
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that's why things like this... Oh, I don't know.
It seems okay.
Things like this could be much better, but because of people like that,
yeah,
it ruins it for everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I thought
don't be a jerk.
One thing I'll have to test out and see if it works. Nicely. But say, like, if you want to just play with somebody, you can have them have controller too. And then you guys can play together on a game that has that, like a local game. You can just stream it and then be like, hey, I want you to take control of this controller. Here you go. And then you can play games together. I thought that would be
controller too, at least with my minimal gaming experience, doesn't have. I'm assuming it's still this way. It doesn't have full functionality of controller 1,
right?
Because it never has.
Is what
it's always been
I've
like
gathered.
A companion type.
Yep.
Situation. Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah. Personalization, the ability to switch between light and dark themes can be automated so that it happens at sunrise and sunset in your location. There is a new high contrast light theme option as well. So people are liking that. I've seen it. I'm okay with what it gives me. So I didn't know this was a problem, but you get that. Audio improvements. You can now selectively balance game audio and background music with the guide, which I did notice this was kind of a problem. It was weird because you'd have like Pandora or Spotify or whatever background music you wanted to play while playing a game, and you really couldn't turn it down. But now it gives you the option to be like, oh, turn down. I think it's one bar though, so it's like you move it to you want game audio or music.
Oh, right.
It kind of
so you're balancing the two.
Yep. And then Xbox actually gets the real version of Microsoft Edge.
Hey,
nice.
Instead of the weird Xbox One.
So this would be beneficial for people that have like a keyboard maybe hooked up to their Xbox or something.
Or a computer that you can use a computer keyboard too.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. Like you have a keyboard hooked up to your Xbox.
Yeah. Either or.
Yes.
Well, it's really when I mentioned that. So if you have the Xbox app open and you have your Xbox connected to your computer, you can actually do that. It'll when you bring up like a chat window, it'll bring it over on your computer. I can type it, hit enter, and it goes right over. And that's how I have my setup. I have my dual screens, and it's pretty cool. I found that feature out by accident. One time I was like, oh, I got to type this redeem code in, and then it popped up on my computer, and then I was like, so I started typing it, and then I hit enter on my computer, and it just sent it right over to the Xbox.
Nice.
I'm like,
nice.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, so that's part of the April update. I did want to move on. I did want to talk about the Xbox Game Pass, the new stuff that is coming in May. Obviously, the big one is State of Decay 2, which is the big AAA title that's coming to Xbox next month, which is on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass,
nice,
you get this game.
Yeah.
As long as you have Game Pass. And on that note, I have mentioned before, if you're using the Edge browser, they always give you the points on there. You can get about 700 points if you're on the Edge browser and you're searching, and I've talked about the little games they have, like quizzes.
Right.
You get the points. Well, right now they have the Xbox Game Pass on a sale, if you will, for using points, which is 5,600 points right now, and you get 700 points a day, so times that by 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56. 8 days of just doing just a couple searches, you get Xbox Game Pass free for a month.
Huh.
And normally that's about, I think it was 9,000. But even then, you do like 2 weeks of searches, you basically get $10 to Game Pass, and you can just have it for free if you just do a couple searches, which is really easy. And the way I do it is I think of a sentence to write, but I do one letter at a time, enter, because it counts as a search. So I could just say some long supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, S, enter, U, enter, and it searches, and you just see it rack up the points.
Nice.
So I would recommend doing that. Just I know it's just kind
of way to
Wes's
game the
Wes's
gaming
tips for
system.
gaming the system here.
Well, it is. I mean, it works, and they give you the points, and then you get the free Game Pass.
If they allow it, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying.
It's one of those things. If you're gonna be using Edge and Bing and all that stuff, anyways, why not do it?
Yeah.
See, they give points, and then they, like I said, they do little silly quizzes that give you they're 3 questions, and then it's like, hey, who or like what year was this person born? And you're like, I don't know. You click it, it's like, nope, wrong. Try another one. Nope, wrong. But as you click it, it searches for that person's date or whatever comes up, and that counts as a search.
Uh-huh.
So not only are you getting points for the quiz, you're getting points
for the search.
So
nice.
And it's quick. Honestly, it takes maybe, with the way I do it, it maybe takes less than 10 minutes, and you get all your points.
Uh-huh.
And then, like I said, you get a free Xbox Game Pass. Now, there are other things you can get which cost more. Like, basically, I want it for Game Pass. I used to have it for like just a $10 Microsoft Store credit card or whatever. You know? But that was actually more. But then I saw the actual Game Pass was way less. I was like, oh, that's kind of what I'm spending it on, so I'll just get more, rack it on there. So nice. I would just recommend that to anybody. I mean, right now you do it for 2 weeks straight, because they always do a streak bonus. They're like, oh, you did it for 3 days straight. Here's an extra 100 points. So, I mean, there's all sorts of ways to get these points. And I mean, it's free money, free gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk more about what's coming to Game Pass, but I did want to mention that because that's what I do, and it's just working. Like, I haven't had to pay for Game Pass, so. Anyway, State of Decay 2 is the big one that's coming on there. It is the ultimate zombie survival fantasy. And that asks, how will you survive?
Yeah.
Have you seen much on that?
Yeah, it's kind of an open world cooperative. Well, not really. Can be cooperative, can be not cooperative.
Yeah.
Kind of thing where it's the zombie apocalypse, you're trying to build up a base of survivors and and that kind of thing. And yeah.
It is cross-platform co-op as well, so between Xbox and Windows 10, and it arrives on May 22nd. The next game that is coming for Xbox Game Pass is Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. Cool, soccer. The next one is Laser League, a light-speed arcade multiplayer shooter like no other. It will be making its console debut on Xbox One on May 10th. And it says, jump into exhilarating 4v4 local matches or go online 2v2 and 3v3 battles. Face off in packed and vibrant international stadiums with intensity challenging laser maps to master.
Wow. That was a mouthful.
It was. Yeah. I'm surprised I said that all correctly. Yay me. All right, moving on. The next game, which I would recommend, I have played, it's called Overcooked. Have you played that one yet?
I haven't played it, but I have seen it.
Is this a cooking version of Overwatch?
No.
Because that would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
With little 8-bit like music. Anyway, no, the award-winning chaotic couch co-op cooking game for 1 to 4 players will be available on Xbox Game Pass starting May 1st. Chop, dice, and fry your way to victory in a race to serve your hungry customers before they storm out, taking their precious tips with them. So it's basically your kitchen is a weird maze, and you get certain ingredients, and then, for example, like hamburger. You got to make a hamburger. It shows you what you need. So you need a bun, hamburger, and then some need a lettuce, tomato, or whatever. So you got to go to each corner and find your stuff, but it comes in holes. So you have to go find where the chopping block is, and then you have to go either find the frying pan to put the hamburger in to cook it, but you can't cook it too long or it starts on fire.
Yep.
And then all this time, and it's really fun. Because then all of a sudden, some maps or some levels, the kitchen moves around.
Yeah, like the layout of the kitchen will change while you're playing. And when you get 4 people in there, there's more orders coming in, and everybody's like getting in each other's way, and like
it's fun. My
crazy.
wife and I we actually did the whole game. We played the entire game, got all the achievements, but we just did her and I. Now, if you do this solo, good luck because you have to have 2. So what you can either do is split your controller.
Oh gosh.
Oh jeez. What?
Yep. You can split the controller. Basically, one side joystick controls one character, the other controls the other.
Good luck with that.
Or you can do I believe it's like do your bumper and it switches to the next one, and then one just sits there, and while you're moving this one, it switches. So I tried it. It's ridiculous. In some of those levels, I'm like, you need 2 people or more.
Yeah.
Because you're like, there's no way.
There's no way.
Yeah. So, but it is fun. I recommend it. If you get this, even if you don't have Game Pass, this is like $5. Perfect. It's great. I'd get it. Next one is The Escapist. I never did play these. Have you heard of these ones?
Yeah, they're basically just like 8-bit kind of isometric jailbreak simulators.
Is that all basically?
Kind of. Okay. Yeah, there's like a whole series of them. You're escaping from different places, and they've got some like RPG elements to them. It's a little bit like Zelda, actually, where you're trying to escape from prison instead of trying to get into a dungeon. You're trying to get out.
Oh.
Kind of.
Well, there you go.
And so, yeah.
That's coming to Xbox on May 1st, or the Xbox Game Pass. The next one, it was a big one. I never played this one, but a lot of people did like this. That's coming on May 1st, is Homefront: The Revolution.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
No, did this come out last year?
Or the year before.
Yeah. It's fairly like new, but a lot of people did like it. They said that, so to give you a little bit on this, it's an epic open-world shooter set in dystopian near future where the United States has been occupied by the overwhelming military might of the Korean People's Army.
Yep. It's basically picture Red Dawn movie, like the old one. It's that as a game.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Basically.
I may try it out. I mean, I get it for free. So.
Yeah, I may as well give it a shot.
Not free, but you get my point, technically. Well, anyway, moving on. Next one is called Unmechanical Extended. Is a great puzzle adventure game that combines tricky puzzle solving, alluring exploration, and an engrossing atmosphere, and is available for Game Pass members on May 1st. So, puzzler. And last but not least, that will be on here is Sonic and Knuckles. Coming
fun.
May 1st. So the old Sega Genesis Sonic and Knuckles.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool.
So I did want to mention those because Game Pass is so cool. I really enjoy it. So, And the one last thing I did want to mention, now I don't use this, but I know a lot of people do. But Discord is going to be, let's see, Microsoft and Discord team up to connect gamers across Xbox Live and Discord. So, let's see.
So I can stop using the Xbox app to chat with you.
I think
I can use Discord now.
I'm assuming now. Let me on here. It gives a little explanation. So it says how this will work from Xbox One. It says start. So right now this is kind of in preview. It hasn't come out yet, but you will also have the added option to link your Xbox Live account to your Discord account directly from your Xbox One, which will become available to broader Xbox community soon. Open the account settings menu, Xbox One, link your social account. Let's see. And then once you've received the unique code from the Xbox, open your Discord app and insert the code with the connection tab.
Okay.
Now from the PC. From the Discord app on PC or on the mobile device, in the coming weeks you will see an option to link your Xbox account with your Discord account through the Connections tab under User Settings. Click the Xbox Live option and sign into your account. After enabling permission, your accounts will be linked.
Okay.
It says after the following, these few steps, your accounts will be linked on your Xbox Live game presence. Can be shared across Discord, enabling friends and users in the same Discord server to see what you're playing on Xbox Live. We're excited. It just kind of says they're excited to work with them. So,
that's interesting.
Now,
might have to try that out.
It hasn't said. Let's see, it just says you can see what you're playing. I don't think it's
so it's not actually doing the chat.
I don't know yet. It doesn't say, but
it'll be interesting to find out. I will definitely try it.
But it is a big thing. I mean,
yeah, cool.
I know a lot of people use it. Because isn't it its own social platform type thing?
It is, yeah. So Discord is basically it's voice chat for gamers, basically.
Okay.
It's just like it's an app that runs in the background. It's very lightweight that you use to just chat with the people in your gaming group, and you can do text chat as well. And they also have communities called Discord servers where you can get together with a lot of people that are playing the same games as you and talk about the game, or you can do matchmaking inside of those and that kind of thing.
There you go.
Like old games that basically don't have a player base anymore, like Lawbreakers and what was that one from the people that made Borderlands that came out at the exact same time as Overwatch? It flopped so hard.
Bloodborne?
No, Battleborn. Battleborn, yes. Those games basically don't have player bases anymore. You sign in, you can't actually find matches in the multiplayer because there just aren't enough simultaneous players. But if you join a Discord server for one of those games that's still live, you can set up a game with enough people in the Discord server so that you know you're all going to be online at the same time. So that you can actually get into a game and still play the game. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, that's what Discord is. So I'm interested to see like how tight their integration is with Xbox Live, because the Xbox Live app on Windows has some weirdness and some issues. And
it is getting better.
It is. My biggest complaint is the whole not being able to run in the background thing. Like you have to have the window open. It doesn't minimize to the system tray like a lot of those apps do. And Discord does.
Oh, that's weird. I'm able to do that with mine. I use that's how I chat with people.
It won't minimize to the system tray. I can't find a setting to turn that on. It'll still send me notifications. Like if somebody invites me to something and the app is closed, it'll still send me notifications and that kind of thing. But in order to actually be in a group or chat with somebody or join anything, it has to open the app. It basically just pops up a notification. I click on the notification. It opens up the app. If I close the app, then it disconnects me from everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I can't close the window.
Gotcha. Yeah. Technically, yeah.
Whereas Discord, you close the window, it minimizes to the system tray. You're still signed in. You're still there. Everything is still working. You just can't see.
You are correct. That is correct. Yes. So, I misunderstood what you were saying.
Right.
Yep. Anyway,
okay.
Why don't we go ahead and move on?
All right.
It's all you.
I have the biggest piece of gaming news.
I bet you
boy.
do.
So it wasn't too long ago that we were talking about games like Sausage Run.
Oh, I love that game.
Cillablade. And all of Nintendo's mobile games that gave me hope that free-to-play mobile games were finally hitting their stride. Figuring out a way that they could monetize, they could make money without slapping me in the face with time boxes, energy limitations, and incessant and constant requests to microtransact my way into a progression system of some sort. And I mean, even stuff like the recent mobile versions of PUBG and Fortnite, really quite friendly in terms of free-to-play games. You can spend money in all of these games, but you don't have to. And it's awesome. So let's talk about Harry Potter Mystery at Hogwarts. So this is from Portkey Games. It is for iOS and Android. It's available for both. It looks quite good, like in appearance. The appearance of the game is quite good, and it does a pretty good job with some of the whimsy that is inherent in the Harry Potter universe that you would expect to get out of a Harry Potter game. In every other way, it is a soulless, cash-grabbing pile of crap. I cannot say anything else nice about this game. The progress is limited by waiting or by spending money. And what's really frustrating, so it gives you a little energy meter. Every action you make in the progression of the game takes energy. You get like 24 energy. That's a full charge of energy. And you make 24 actions, and you have to wait like an hour or more to get enough energy to actually continue forward. And it's obnoxious, first of all, to have to wait. What makes it worse is when you start one of those little missions to try and progress in the game and build your character and whatnot, you're given a time limit. And they're all like, you have this many hours to do this thing. It's like, I've never actually gone past that, but I'm like, I don't know, you can lose. Like, what the heck? You can lose. I don't know what happens to your character if you do that, if you go over that or something like that. They take like points away from your house cup or something like that, or Snape kills your character. I don't know. Geez. Like, I just don't know. There was one where you're like you get trapped in a room with whatever the giant weed was from the end of the first book that is sensitive to light. What was that called? Devil's Snare. It was one of the things that Hermione, used Lumos and got past the Devil's Snare. So you're trapped in a room with Devil's Snare right after you learn the Lumos spell. And so you have to like struggle against the vines to pick up your wand. And so you sit there and tap on the vines, basically. And every tap takes energy. So you do that, and then you cast a spell. That takes energy. And then you tap some more, and then you cast a spell. And then you tap some more, and then you cast a spell. And then you're out of energy. And it's all like, okay, it's going to take like, you get one energy. So basically one tap, one action back every 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So to get 24 of them back takes you, 3 times 24. It takes a while.
That is ridiculous.
And that particular thing had a time box of like 3 hours or something, or like 4 hours or something like that. And I'm sitting there like, what if you were playing, you ran out of energy, and you went to bed? You wake up the next morning and your character's been eaten by the Devil's Snare. Like, what in the heck kind of mobile game is this? It's like, anyways, the worst. You cannot, like, they have little lessons where you're learning spells, you're learning potions. These are the things that inform what your character can actually do in the world. You have to learn these skills in order to progress in the game, which makes sense because that's the whole reason that we're at Hogwarts.
Right.
Like, simulating an RPG at Hogwarts is to learn Hogwarts stuff and all these spells, and it's cool. That's why we're there. Come on. You can't get through a full single lesson with a full charge of energy. You have a full charge of energy, that'll get you through about a third of it. And then you have like 4 hours, and you have to sign in about every hour and a half to make sure that you can use up another full charge of energy, and then make sure you can use up another one before your time expires, and you lose, and Snape throws you into your own potion, or something like that. Ridiculous. It's just objectively a terrible game. It's so bad.
Awful.
It is the worst. And especially for kids, because they're going to, every time you run out of energy and you try to tap, it's all like, do you want to spend diamonds to get more energy? And it's like, you click on that and it's all like, you don't have 55 diamonds.
Do you want to buy some?
Do you want to buy 55 diamonds? That costs about $5, by the way.
Gosh.
It's retarded. It is the biggest, it is the most soulless, cash grabby, free to play game I have played in like years and years and years. Like, honestly,
wow.
It is everything.
That is terrible.
Everything bad about freemium games that you have ever experienced on your phone, all combined into one. And none of the good stuff. Like, they didn't do any of the good things that have been done by, like, PUBG and Fortnite and Fire Emblem Heroes and Scyllablade and stuff like that. Like, where like, oh, you can spend lots of money in this app, but it's all for cosmetics. and you can progress normally as is. Or Fire Emblem Heroes, where yes, you are limited in how much of the game you can play at any one sitting by the amount of energy that they give you. But they give you so much energy that you can literally play for like 8 hours before you run out of it. And then when you do run out of it, you can spend orbs to refresh it. They give you an orb every day just for signing in. And spending like 5 orbs recharges your entire thing of 99 energy, and you can go play for another 8 hours. You want to play for 16 hours of Fire Emblem Heroes? You're crazy, but you can do it without spending any money. So, I don't know. These idiots that designed this game did not do any of that stuff. So, if you are one of the Harry Potter fanatics that are just really hoping for an engaging Harry Potter experience, I'm sorry, this isn't it. Don't download it. It's not worth your time. I'm afraid we're all just going to have to wait for the Niantic Harry Potter game to come out next year.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds... Because I didn't play the game. I didn't read much about it. I just saw some of the images, like, that looks really cool.
It does. It looks nice, doesn't it?
Man.
It is.
That's terrible.
That's garbage.
It's so bad. Like, you literally get through the little tutorial stage where all of the tasks you have to complete are very low energy requiring tasks. And you're like, I mean, I can see my energy expiring here, but I mean, I can do a couple of things before I run out of energy. And you kind of feel like, all right, that's fair. And then, and that's fine because, like I can run out of energy. It takes me about 15 minutes. And then, I put the phone away and I wait an hour and then I pick it back up and I play for another 15 minutes. And that's how most mobile games really should be played. And I was totally fine with that until I actually got past the tutorial and into the actual lessons and realized that no, you run out of energy in about 10 seconds when you're actually playing the game.
Wow.
And it's just the worst.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
What a cash grab.
It's bad. It's so bad. And
who's the developer behind this?
Portkey Games. Is the name of the developer, which
is just a good thing. Probably don't get any of their apps.
Well, I doubt they have any other because it's a blatantly a Harry Potter themed development studio.
Yeah,
and they probably formed to make this game, and it is the most embarrassing thing I've ever. Like, Clash of Clans is less like ridiculous. Like freaking Candy Crush is less draconian about their energy than this game is. It's so stupid. Anyways. On the flip side of terrible mobile games, meaning hopefully good mobile games, Nintendo has announced Dragalia Lost, which they released a trailer for it. And what this is an all-new IP developed with in collaboration with Cygames. It's an action RPG that, is all new. Developed by these two companies. So Nintendo had some say in it that probably didn't do any of the actual technical work. That was probably all Cygames because they have done a lot of mobile game development. Mm-hmm. But Nintendo was involved in the creation of the game and the gameplay, hopefully. The trailer that we have so far doesn't really show a whole lot of gameplay. It's mostly just like, these are the characters that you're going to be playing, and that kind of thing. But it's an action RPG. The little bit of gameplay that was in there made it look an awful lot like a mobile version of Diablo 2, which I'm down with. Like, I will play that. It's probably going to be free to play like Fire Emblem Heroes, which is one of the best free to play games I've ever played. So, woohoo.
Yeah.
Should be coming to iOS and Android later this summer. It's going to launch in Asia first. And then the westernized translations and stuff like that will be coming later. So I would expect summer is the Asia release. We probably won't be seeing it until the winter, toward the end of the year.
Yeah, probably.
But sometime this year, hopefully. It does confirm that Nintendo is branching out to new development partners on the mobile side of things because Cygames is new for them. The games they've developed so far, they were developing with DNA. But it does sound like DNA is still working with them and is still working on the Mario Kart Tour game that's supposed to come out next year. So, Nintendo is, I don't know, they actually are putting quite a lot of focus on mobile games.
And doing them right.
So far, yeah. So far, they've been really good about that. And, like, even Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, like, the progression was, you could progress pretty effectively without putting money into the game. Obviously, you could progress faster if you spent money, but you didn't have to. But, that being said, it was also super boring because it's an Animal Crossing game. So I think that one just had a very smaller target audience. But yeah, so Dragalia Lost. I keep wanting to say Draconia, but that's not Dragalia Lost, coming from Nintendo and Cygames sometime later this year.
Cool.
Next, another mobile game that was teased. It's been quite a lot of teases and announcements for mobile games. This one is Castlevania Grimoire of Souls.
Oh, I heard this.
So this is a cooperative real-time multiplayer iOS game that will be getting a beta sometime in the next couple of months, but only in Japan. So the game itself is slated for release next year. Not a whole lot of detail was given beyond that. Like, not really even what the gameplay is going to be like. It's evidently going to be about the Grimoire of Souls, but I don't know. But yeah, it'll take place inside of the Castlevania universe, which means that you'll probably be able to play as some of your favorite Castlevania characters from through the years.
Did you ever play, I don't know if this went to Xbox only, but it was like Castlevania, something of Despair?
I didn't.
So what they did, it was interesting. So it's in the art style of Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood, and anyway, Symphony of the Night. You played. Mm-hmm. So is that the one that I had you play?
Well, I think so, yes.
Anyway, it's in that art style, but you take the castle, and it's multiplayer. And so you can pick your characters, and you level them up, same thing. You can be Alucard, you can be the girl, you can be Richter, whoever.
Right.
And then you start in random spots, but you can also meet up in the castle and go cooperatively through the castle. And they did this for the 360. I don't think it was huge. I remember I got it and played it. It was fun. Mm-hmm. But it reminds me of this. I wonder if they just took that and was like, mobile.
Yeah.
I mean,
could
why
very
not?
well be.
I mean, that is awesome.
Yep. So yeah, that's that should be coming. I mean, we'll be seeing the beta in Japan in a couple of months here, and at which point we'll obviously know more.
That'll be cool.
Okay. Rumors now for the next Call of Duty.
Oh.
So COD Blops 4 is coming. Which is, it's the best acronym ever. For those of you that aren't aware, that stands for Call of Duty Black Ops. So it's Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which abbreviates to COD Blops quite nicely. And I just love that acronym. So there is rumored to be no single-player campaign in COD Blops 4.
Correct.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because all of the Call of Duty games, despite the fact that over the past 5 years they have been unapologetically completely about their multiplayer, they still tacked on a really crappy single-player campaign just for lip service, basically. But sounds like they're ditching that entirely.
Which they are now calling it, instead of Black Ops, Lack Ops. Lack Ops. No, it's a huge thing right now. That's what they're calling it, Lack Ops. Right now,
actually, or somebody just made that up?
Well, it's a big, huge community. They're calling it Lack Ops because there's a lack of ops.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a lot, which is funny. I think it's funny.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It sounds like they're probably still going to be putting the zombies mode into the game. Yes. That's what the Black Ops previous versions of Black Ops have been famous for, is their zombies mode. Mm-hmm. But then they'll have the straight up multiplayer, the zombies mode, which is multiplayer. You can do that cooperatively.
Which you more than likely want to.
Right, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the main big mode for all of it. It started actually in World War Z, Call of Duty World War Z, and then Black Ops picked it up, but just expanded on it. Yeah. And then now all the Call of Duties are
now there's a zombies mode in every Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
But it's basically, to me, they're finally admitting that we know why people play our game. It's not for the single-player campaign. Nobody plays it for the single-player campaign. They play it for the multiplayer. That's why they buy it. They play it for the zombies mode. That's why they buy it. Cool. They're basically acknowledging that. Hopefully this one isn't going to pound you over the head with loot boxes for progression. Though, to be considering the backlash that EA got off of Battlefront 2, probably they have hopefully learned their lesson. And any loot boxes that do exist will be completely cosmetic, if there are any at all. Now, that having been said, there has been a rush of Battle Royale games announced over the past couple of weeks.
I wonder why.
Yeah, maybe because Fortnite and PUBG just make all the money.
Yeah.
So, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds was a mod for Arma 3. That's just funny to me that that's where that started off, and it is the latest gaming trend, whereas the last massive gaming trend was MOBAs. And that started off of a mod for Warcraft 3. So, it's kind of funny how that works. But that was PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, spun off into a whole new game. And then obviously Fortnite copied it unabashedly with their Battle Royale mode.
Yes.
And some of the more... So there have been actually a lot of people releasing Battle Royale style games, or announcing them and putting some of them into early access, that are actually kind of interesting. One where it's all like, it's 10 people instead of 100 people. So it's a lot closer. It's a lot tighter. And one of them, it's... Gosh, I want to say H1Z1 or DayZ is releasing a kind of sort of Battle Royale mode where it's you and like 6 other people, except the zombies are also there. So basically, your main goal is to actually just survive. You have to kill all of the zombies. But at one point, like once you kill a bunch of zombies and gather the things you're supposed to gather from the world, only one person gets out. So you will eventually have to kill the other players, but there's also zombies, and you might actually be cooperating with the other players for a little while at least. So there have been some interesting takes on the Battle Royale formula. These are not that. First is Radical Heights from developer Boss Key, who are the folks that developed and killed Lawbreaker last year. Lawbreakers. It's an 80s themed, totally unfinished game that is in early access right now that you can totally spend money on. It's a massive just cash grab. They just want, give us money, please. Paladins, which is the Overwatch ripoff from a couple of years ago, is releasing Paladins Battleground, which is a PUBG ripoff. So, yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Just can't even do that. And here's maybe my favorite one. COD Blops 4 is rumored to have a Battle Royale mode replacing the single-player campaign. And I'm just like, I mean, A, that's terrible. Like, seriously, guys, come up with something new. But B, I'm actually kind of surprised that it's taken this long for somebody to do that. Like the fact that we don't have a Battlefront 2 Battle Royale mode or a Battlefield 1 Battle Royale mode. I'm kind of surprised, or Call of Duty World War II. Like, why doesn't that have a Battle Royale mode? I'm actually surprised that it has taken until now for a AAA game developer to put a Battle Royale mode into their game. But yeah, it's apparently going to happen with COD Blops 4 sometime this year. Last piece of news. This is happy news. I wanted to end on a high note. Wolfenstein 2 is going to hit the Switch in June.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Which, I mean, I remember before the Switch launched, you can go back and listen to our podcast from right before the Switch launch, where I was so skeptical about third-party developer support. And at the very least, Bethesda has sure proved me wrong.
Yeah.
But, like, they have gotten a lot of support from big-name developers and a whole ton of indie games for the Switch. The Switch's game catalog is actually really impressive compared to the Wii U. So, good job, Nintendo. You proved me wrong. And that was basically the reason I wasn't buying a Switch back then, was because I just wasn't sure about that. But now that, obviously, I don't have anything to be concerned about, I should probably be looking at Switches.
And they're probably cheaper now.
Because they're used, yes.
Yeah, that's true. How I actually got my Switch is I traded my Xbox, one of the Xboxes I wasn't using for it. So
there you go.
Yep.
So
and I still don't play it.
Good.
Your daughter does, though.
Oh, dude, she loves it. Demos are amazing on that thing. I'm just letting all of you know, demos.
They're pretty awesome.
That and the whole Zelda game's amazing because she just likes to climb trees and fall out of them.
And it's an open world, so she'll never run out of trees to climb.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And food to cook. And water to swim. It's amazing where she finds.
And who cares what even else is going on in
there?
there?
No, she doesn't
trees,
care.
Food, water, we're good.
Yeah, she loves it.
I can glide off of this mountain. I have no idea what's at the bottom. Water, yes!
Yep. So, it's fun.
So, I'm going to ruin Caleb's ending on a high note.
Oh!
Because his Harry Potter game rant made me think of something I want to rant about.
Oh, boy.
In the gaming side.
Ranting. Let's do this.
So, Minecraft.
I
have to rant.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Because I was playing this game quite a bit on my phone. Because it's a lot of fun. And there's just lots of random crap. It's what your daughter does with Zelda, I do with Minecraft. Just lots of random crap that can be done just because you can. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing that. But they've made this game to the point that I uninstalled it for a while because I thought, well, there was one thing that it was doing, like it was doing the thing where I couldn't get into the realm anymore. And previously I uninstalled it and reinstalled it and that fixed it. So I uninstalled it and reinstalled it. It didn't do anything. I couldn't get into the realm for a while.
On the defense, the realm was down for a minute because I forgot to pay. So it was down for a few days. Sorry. That could have. That could have been it. I'm sorry. So that might have been my fault.
But before, it wasn't that. It was just something weird with the game. Yeah. So that's why I tried that. It didn't work. So I was like, well, I'll do my own thing in my own world that I have going. And they updated it recently, and they did this a while ago that made it annoying, but not unplayable in my opinion. Now it's to a point where I don't play it because it's that annoying. Before, it was where, like, originally you could, if you had, like, a big amount of something, like, say you had, like, you can have up to 64 of something in one spot, right? And if you want to transfer all that over, you could just long press on it, and it would give you a little bar, and it would, once you have all of it, it'll just all go at the same time. Or you could do individually. So if you just wanted to take 10 blocks somewhere to build something, you could. Now, well, before, you couldn't, like, you could long press on it, and it would do the little bar saying how much of that you have, but it would only do one at a time, which was annoying. So you could only just do one at a time, and it would take a little longer, but you could get around that, and it was fine. Now, you can't do one at a time. You can only do all or nothing.
Oh, what?
And it is so freaking annoying. So, like, if I only need one or two things, I have to take the entire block of whatever I need.
That is annoying.
And so it's annoying enough that I don't play the game anymore.
Wow.
Because there's rarely a time that I need 64 of something or more, you know.
The whole stack.
The whole stack of whatever it is. Taking up space. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Man, I'm just going to get you a controller that's compatible with Android.
I don't know if that would make it better.
I haven't had any, like, when it was having the issues before, I never saw that on the iPad, and I tried it with the touch controls, and it was there. The problem was there, but it wasn't there if I was using the controller.
Well, try that. Well, I don't, again, it might just be on Android that this is happening.
True. So, yeah,
I've waited, like, I uninstalled it for a good 2 or 3 weeks, and I came back, reinstalled it. I was like, maybe they've updated it by now. Nope. It's still garbage.
I'm going to check and see if it's an issue on iOS and see if it's there with the controller, because if it's not, I'm just going to bring you a controller.
Yeah. Because I was having a lot of fun playing this game. I was doing a lot of cool stuff. And
oh, that's super annoying.
Like, I now have it on my phone installed. Wait, just so I know if there's an update to the game, so and I can go back in and see, did they fix it? Nope. Did they fix it? Nope. Hopefully, eventually it gets fixed, because it pisses me off.
I wonder why the change. Like, what are they trying to? I don't think there's any, like.
There's no benefit.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because it's so annoying.
It's a bug, I'm sure.
Like, even I mean, it has to be, because even if you want to, like, take, like, say, like, one thing I've done a lot of is turn cobblestone into stone, because I built that freaking huge stadium thing
cool, by the
inside of the realm. And I used stone instead of cobblestone. Yeah. So I was constantly having, like, 10 ovens going at a time. But I can't, like, transfer over just certain amounts at a time and do it.
Yeah.
I have to do a whole thing. And the other thing, like, if I've used, like, let's say I have 2 things of 64 stone in my, like, on my person. And I've used 20 of them. And there's like 20 in my chest or something, and I want to transfer over those, and I can't just transfer a few at a time. I have to transfer the whole block, the whole thing. But, like, it's weird the way it works. Like, it'll combine certain ones, or it won't combine. Like, I don't know. If you click on that block, it selects that block of 20 or however many. And then you click into your chest to transfer them over. That's the other thing. It doesn't just automatically go back and forth like it used to. You have to, like, click here, and then it'll transfer the whole block over, or none of it, or I don't know. It's so annoying.
I wonder if there's an option.
I couldn't find anything
Because there's something that comes to mind when you were saying that. I wonder if they have worked on it and set up an option for touchscreen, kind of like how I remember how you automatically jump when you get close to an edge. It'll automatically jump for you. There's an option in there that says automatically jump, or you don't want it to automatically jump. And maybe it's something like that. I was saying maybe there's like a touchscreen option only, and only an option in touchscreen options only that says, hey, double click, like you have a check mark for like double click move or double something, or I don't know. I haven't looked. So maybe there's an
couldn't
option.
find anything. I'll have to look again, but I dug through those settings to see.
Did you?
Can I turn this garbage off? I can see why they might think it would be better because there's less, well, kind of less. There's actually more taps on the screen in some ways
for each individual
in
one.
certain things. Well, no, you can't do.
That's right. You can't do it
now.
anymore.
But like some ways, it can be better. But most ways, for how I play the game, it's awful.
I can confirm it's awful. It's the same way on iOS.
It's garbage.
This is retarded.
Is there
stupid. An option? Is there like an option, like a touchscreen?
I can't. I can't transfer one item over.
You can't just do one item.
Can you do like a double click, like on that? Just
no.
Like tap?
If you tap, it selects, unselects.
That's it.
That's all it does.
That's terrible.
It's so. The user experience is just garbage. That's why I don't play it anymore.
I wonder if we have to read the recent patch notes on it just to see.
I couldn't find anything about that specifically.
Interesting. Because you would think something like that they'd want it on every device. You'd at least want.
You'd think they'd want a very similar experience across all platforms that you're playing this game.
That is, weird.
And they did. From what I could tell, I mean, I've never played it on a console or a computer, but from what I had seen, it was basically the same gameplay and the same experience, functionality. Now it's garbage.
Yeah, that's dumb. And like if you hold down, it still does the little like charging up the bar, but that just selects the entire stack, so you can do the entire stack.
It doesn't do anything.
Like
it's
terrible. It's being annoying. I'm going to try it with a controller. I'll get back to you.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Because it is garbage right now, and I don't play it because of that.
Okay, speaking of Minecraft and Nintendo Switch, the next update for Nintendo Switch in Minecraft will allow you to sign into your Xbox account, and you can get Xbox achievements on the Switch.
That's nice.
That's what I heard. I don't think.
Kind of surprised it wasn't already there because that's the way it's set up on Android.
It's progressive. I think it's both companies bouncing back and forth.
Yeah. I get
for
that.
reasons, and then I'm assuming soon, hopefully, the Realms will come on so that I can go to Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
I want to go, but
I want to know if you can add that. Like, add us to that realm, and we can go.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I think as soon as the Nintendo portion can come, I think that's when they'll do the update. Or flip the switch, if you will. So,
yeah.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah.
I will play despite all this crap that is going on if I can go to Nintendo Land.
Man. That'd be so cool. And it gives you all the sounds and everything. So, anyway. I think that's everything. You done with the rant?
I am done with my rant.
That's a pretty legit rant, actually. That's fine. You good?
Yes, I'm good.
I think we're all good. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and end it. And thanks for listening, everybody, and have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.